that almost 12 years ago, we heard a presentation about children and adults in our county who are homeless. That brought us up short. Ozaukee County is deemed the wealthiest county in Wisconsin. How could there be homeless people here? What we learned was that the public schools are required at least once a year on a particular date to count the number of children registered in the school systems who are without a permanent home address, and that's a tell. What disturbed me about that story, or that information, was the idea that children not only didn't have a permanent place to go home from school every day, but if they were moving from place to place, they were also being displaced from school. And education, we know, is the way to break the chain of poverty. So that worried me and a bunch of us in this church, and we began working with other churches throughout the county to create a program where we could provide for some of those people. We thought maybe if we could provide overnight sleeping arrangements and meals for people a week at a time in each of our churches, rotate around the churches, while we provided social work services to help those individuals get out of the situation that was causing their homelessness, that we could probably take care of the problem in Ozaukee County. How naive is that? We have now served Family Promise no longer in our churches. When COVID hit, you will all recall, we couldn't open our church to anyone. If you were couch hopping with friends and family and suddenly the world said, don't do that, stay close and in a small group to protect yourself from this terrible illness, we had more families than 4. All of a sudden we had 16, 18, 20 families looking for help. Family Promise was able to find a way to put families into the motel, and churches continued to serve because we cooked every single day. During that time, Family Promise really worked at raising the funds to build a shelter. We now have a shelter in Port Washington. It's called Portlight Shelter. And you'd think, okay, now we have a building, people can go there, they're all set. No, they're not. Family Promise is more than a place, more than a roof over the head and heat, food in the belly. It is a ministry that demonstrates to the people who are in shelter that they are children of God and they are with us. We are with them. We continue to cook, those of us in churches throughout Ozaukee County, and our church serves about 1 week every other month. There are a number of us who do that. There can be a lot more. And to share the joy that we have in demonstrating that we are part of Christ's family. We are the people who share life with them. Let me tell you just a little bit about the people that we have now. Right now, today, we have 14 people in shelter. Let's see. 8 of those are children. So while we have them in shelter, by the way, we keep them in school. I didn't mention that. That's the part that made an impression on me, that we keep kids in school. And that's the important part. But let me tell you about some of the joy that we get. we don't really get to know people one-on-one a whole lot. And here's a couple of joyful stories. We had a single dad with a 13-year-old daughter who was evicted from their apartment because he lost his job and couldn't pay the rent. Before connecting with Family Promise, he and his daughter were sleeping outdoors in a bus stop in March. Not a great time of year to be out. After they entered the shelter, Kevin began working with a counselor to overcome a number of the reasons that caused his homelessness, including helping him to get a job, helping him work through the legal system so that he had full custody of his daughter. And with the help of Family Promise, they found an apartment that they could afford with a little bit of assistance. When Kevin told his shelter counselor about a week and a half ago that he found an apartment, he had such a big smile, he could hardly contain his excitement. And he and his daughter have now moved out of the shelter, and they're in their new home. They will be counseled for another year through Family Promise. That's what we do. We not only cook, we provide financial support, we also provide resources at the shelter. Family Promise is a great ministry, and we are privileged to be part of that. I'd like to leave you with something that struck me last evening as I was thinking about this. We are one in the Spirit. We are one in the Lord. You know this hymn. We will work with each other. We will work side by side. I added, we will connect people to Jesus Christ and each other. That's our reason to be there. We will guard each other's dignity and save each one's pride, and they will know we are Christians by our love. By our love. Family Promise is a service of love, and there are any number of ways that you can be a part of that ministry, and I'd encourage you to do it.